Welcome to this Monday's live. Wow, what a couple of days. Um, it is really coming home to me how much more of my life I need to document. This has been a bit of I don't know if oxymoron is the right word, but probably a catch-22 is a better phrase. Because once you have done your emotional healing and desisted from creating more drama in your life as a result, you tend to become a little bit insular and you stop oversharing. You stop oversharing. So now I've come full circle to there's a reason I need to document, because if something I say in my journey helps one of you go and report an incident to the police, an action against you that is inappropriate, then it's worth it, right? If a few people find their voices because you've watched somebody, in this case me, grow enough to speak up, fabulous. And especially somebody who is neurodiverse and lives on the fringe and is doing her best to live the most authentic, intuitive life that she can at any given moment. Then I haven't been an individual that has said nothing. You know, what is that quote? When good men do nothing, you know? You've got to tell your story sometimes. It's taken me a lot to get here to be able to start documenting. This process with the police, I was in the police station today. That's where it's got to. I'll come back to today in a second. Some background to that is when I was raped in China, which was the catalyst for the work that I do with you all today. I didn't go to the police station. I was in a foreign country. The rapist was a foreigner and a black man. So unfortunately, it was just not a good scenario. Why do I get upset when I say that? And in my head as I go quiet, that wasn't a racist comment for me to say a black man. I'm not somebody who sees color. What I was getting with that is I had another unfortunate, horrible experience with my first husband where I had to witness firsthand how Chinese treated Africans, right? So that's what the any of you picking up on the emotion when I said a person of color, because I've seen some atrocities in my life. Anyway, humans. So when I had my first car stolen back in the day, and it ended up, Auckland is a big city, Tamaki Makaurau, my car ended up in the same street as my cousin in West Auckland. So I called the police, and they said, you haven't got enough proof to say it was yours. And the police obviously didn't want to deal with this particular group of people either. So my relationship with police didn't get off to a good start. And I'm really happy to report today that I had a really positive interaction I'm presuming they were the sergeant in there. Once I got that person out, I don't know what I did or said to help the person on reception to go and get them. But I'm very pleased that they did. It was very emotional. Like, I'm doing my best to look after my father. I intuitively knew as soon as I heard this person's voice in the first instance that they were up to no good. I had no proof other than my intuition. And that's part of the reason I'm talking about why I'm getting the nudge to document so much of my journey now, because it takes creators and coaches to talk about their journeys and share their stories for people to realize how serious things get, and that you can actually grow enough to move beyond, to feel safe enough to go and do things sometimes when previously you'd thought not. Hope I made that clear. For some people, that might be an impossible task for the rest of their lives. I understand that. I'm just saying that for me and people similar to me, we can progress and process. So, I'm in the middle of sorting my Patreon account out. I've got an opportunity to really revamp it at the moment, as Patreon has done itself. So it was really wonderful at the end of it for the sergeant to turn around and say to me, "Your instincts are good," because I didn't give the whole story. Like, the sergeant came out and asked the questions he needed to, so I don't know what he picked up in the background when the receptionist was talking to me. But yeah, didn't waste much time. I appreciate it. Was really interesting for me because being neurodiverse, going anywhere and they're giving you paperwork and they're telling you new information that you're not used to dealing with because you're not used to dealing with the police or the law, because your life is normally pretty simple. Amazed to see that this sergeant was really animated and cared and got emotional, like quite passionate about certain things. So you never know what happens in other people's lives, whether it was personal or whatever, but he took hold of it. And so at no point did I feel unsafe in that environment. And it was just really reassuring for the world at large that, we've got good people in these spaces. And again, if you've been following my lives, you will understand that my learnings about organizations, including the police on the planet, have not been great, the things that I've learned. So it restored my faith in humanity, I guess, is where we're coming to today. So very grateful. No doubt that'll end up in my Grateful Thursday video. It's very difficult. Now, going back a little bit more, and you'll all get used to the way that I speak in my spidery communication, that's part of being autistic, and don't lose it as I move over here and look to my left. Oh dear, unless I've cleared that already. Now, sometimes this is the neurodivergence, but sometimes this is the fact that I have cleared something about, as I've been talking about it. Healing happens in many different formats. Okay, so just give me a second to see if it's going to come back. Okay, so I was talking about, no, okay. So trusting ourselves, because when I talk about and this is part of the reason I'm on Patreon, because you can't use specific terms on TikTok. The molestation I encountered as a child, I have no physical frontal lobe memory, right? It came up in my psychic training, so I have no real proof, right? And so my journey has been learning to speak my intuitive truth without the proof. And so there's a reason that this is happening with another narcissist with my father. And so to be heard by these people in the police station today going on my gut feeling and my instincts, for that to be listened to, heard, and respected was huge, because obviously I've been triggered with this journey with this young person and my father, you know. So for you, my audience, my magnificent patrons who have gone through something where you're not quite sure, well, you know damn well it's your instincts, but you don't know how to get it across to somebody else, just say it as it is. And if somebody doesn't hear you, talk to somebody else until you are heard. Okay? Now, if that hadn't gone my way, well, not my way, sounds like I'm trying to control it, but if I hadn't been heard today, I would have come home and I would have breathed into some compassionate inquiry questions about whatever I would have found the adjectives, the describing words to talk about and make statements of with a compassionate inquiry about what happened today. The biggest thing that also happened today, because I've unmasked, now I know I'm neurodiverse, because I've taken my power back from any sexual assaults that have happened in my life, I didn't just scuttle out the door. Like, I stood my ground very gently. My breathing becomes deeper when I'm in situations like that before I walked out the door, before I got the help that I needed. And so when when you are carrying trauma, we tend to want to get out of the space because we have been triggered. We are emotional. So again, this is why it's so important to do the work when life is good. All right. I will be on repeat with this for the rest of my life. Do the hard stuff when life is cruisy, so that when you end up in situations like this, your body knows what to do, right? So it can keep you calm, it can keep you grounded, and so that you keep creating with the people around you what you need. Okay. Now, please ask me questions around this, because there are many pathways. We can have more discussion about this, because that is all part of generating what you need and what you want, right? Beyond manifesting. The word manifest has been blasted around the planet so much, but we are constantly generating. So what I did today was proof of the work that I've done, of what I'm generating, to get the help that I needed, and instead of generating another brick wall. So coming back to what I said 3 minutes ago, if I had generated a brick wall, I would have come home and I would have processed with compassionate inquiry, created some sentences around, I'm attracting people that don't hear me, I'm not heard because I'm still holding the coding of, okay? So even that is a bit of a spider web, but it's great. Got lots of those around my house because I'm in the middle of the bush. Okay, that will do for today's live. Again, we've set up this beautiful new community chat thanks to Patreon. I like the fact that in the general chat I can update you guys without being on a live like this. Welcome to my new patrons when you jump on here and see this live. We are about to enter a whole new phase with this, with my work, and with your journeys. So, don't be afraid to have discussions in the community chat. I think that's going to make having discussions a lot easier in with that function. Something else is coming through and I'm not sure what it is, because my nose is going off. I'm looking at the bee. You can always email me if there's a private question, because I know when I am on a public group and it's designed to help, sometimes I still feel like I don't want everybody knowing my business, obviously. a lot more of your healing journey is a lot more figure outable than we are led to believe, right? And because of capitalism on the planet, everything in our societies is designed for us to, dare I say it, a lot of it is designed for us to fall over and then compensate and become better consumers or bigger addicts. Okay, so the minute you can regain control of your life and become more mindful of what's going on, you don't have to succumb to that cycle of consumerism by default. Okay, that'll do for today. Right, that was a lot bigger than I anticipated. Okay, guys, thank you so much, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.